Hey, well, good morning to you. Come on, join in. I want to give you an update. This is The Truth. I'm coming to you today. I want to share with you some important things, some important updates on what's going on. So while we letting that play in, wake up everybody. That's right. By Teddy Pendergrass, Harold Melvin, and the Blue Notes. We got to wake up everybody. It's time to wake up. I'm hearing the call of God. I'm hearing God tell us to wake up. It's our time. It's our season. It is now that we must wake up. Come on. Come on, tag some people, let them know that The Truth with DKP is on live right now. I've got some important information to share with you, some things I think are absolutely important for our community, for us going forward. Good morning, Louise Jones. Good morning, Granny Moore. Good morning, Lewis. How y'all doing this morning? It's a great day in the Lord, and we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep pressing. Good morning, Linda. How you doing this morning? Come on. Hey. Say, wake up, everybody. You know, I grew up listening to that kind of music right there, right? Actually, when we close today, I'm gonna hook you up and let you listen to a little bit of the one done by Carmen and Millennial Fiona, put together by John Legend and the Roots, right? Called Wake Up Everybody. Got a little hip-hop-ish part to it. I think it's good, but ain't nothing like old school. So check it out. I want to update you on something. I want to let you know what's going on. And I want you to know I appreciate all of your prayers, all of your support for all the things that are going on. And listen, even some of your correction and some of your criticism, hey, I appreciate even that. Don't that sound strange? Well, hey, I think it's important that we understand some things. But I want to begin this morning letting you know, I believe we got to wake up. I think we have been given wake-up calls, in particular, but not limited to Jackson, Mississippi, in particular, but not limited to, of course, the state of Mississippi and all that's going on, but also, as I'm being educated, the things that are going on all over the country, all right, and even parts of the world. I want to read something to you I think is really important. This is what has helped me to understand even some of the things that I was feeling. It was written, Dr. King. He said, I should have been reminded that disappointment produces despair and despair produces distress. And that one thing is certain about bitterness is its blindness. Bitterness has not the capacity to make the distinction between some and all. When some members of the dominant group, particularly those in power, are racist in attitude and practice, bitterness accuses the whole group. Man, that was powerful for me, and that was an eye-opener for me because, hey, the truth of the matter is that my bitterness was causing me to accuse the whole group, and it's not the whole group, but particularly those that are in power, because bitterness, despair, and disappointment produces despair, and despair produces bitterness. And the one thing about bitterness is, he said, it produces blindness. So now what happened was the bitterness that we've experienced, we are unable to recognize the difference between some of the people and all of the people, right? Especially when you're talking about the dominant group. So a racist attitude and racist practice, because of bitterness, begins to accuse the whole group. Let me say first and foremost, I do not, matter of fact, I don't just not believe, I know it's not the whole group, right? But I do know that silence becomes complicity, or silence becomes betrayal. That's all I got to say about that, okay? So I want to share a few important things. And you know, I'm so sensitive that I know there are people that are watching from other places who oftentimes don't know what's going on and what's happening. But one of the hot topics, which deservedly so, is that Coach Deion Sanders has made a choice, and he's taken a job at the University of Colorado, and he has left Jackson State, and he made that official. So it is now official, even though we've been knowing for a while, right? So there are a lot of community responses that are mixed, okay? There are a lot of mixed responses. Let me say something to you as a pastor in this city and as a man that has been involved in SWAC for over 6 years, right? I've been involved in SWAC that I knew about. I was a ball boy at 6 years old at Mississippi Valley State University. I grew up on the sidelines of the SWAC. I've seen all the great players, all the great coaches that have come through the SWAC, and there have been some greats like Marina Cassim, Archie Gunslinger Cooley, W.C. Gordon, and so many others, Coach Sorey and Texas Southern. And I could just go name after name, Eddie Robinson, of course. We can name after name of great coaches that have come through the SWAC. And you know what? We're thankful. And Coach Deion Sanders came through the SWAC, and he won, and he brought visibility. And it doesn't mean that me or you had to like everything that he did, right? And maybe it was the shift and the change. I mean, for the first time ever in my life, did I not go to 20 years of serving, over 20 years serving this capacity in Jackson, and serving as a chaplain for the team and praying with the team, that I didn't get to go to one game or didn't go to a game. But guess what? Undefeated season. The players, we applaud. The coaching staff, we applaud. And I've gone through many iterations, Florida, my feelings, but I'm out of my feelings now. And I thank God for the time that he allowed Coach Prime Deion Sanders to come through here. And whatever that means to anybody, whatever you're thinking, and let me tell you something, regardless of how we feel about it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with people feeling a certain way. I think it's wrong because, you know, even at PWIs, I just learned what that means. Even at PWIs, when a coach leaves a PWI, that people like, they get upset. Ask Lane Kiffin, they burn his stuff. He gets threats, right? So guess what? Welcome to the dance. It is not anything new that we have been, we are experiencing what they've been experiencing, and we feel a certain kind of way, and many people feel like that we were misled and lied to. I don't know. I don't even care about that. I'm out of my feelings. I'm saying, what's next? What's next? We want him and his son and whoever goes with him to be successful, because we're not haters, right? We're not haters of anybody. We thank God for 2 SWAC championships and the things that are happening that are good. And regardless of how I feel and you feel, I'm saying as a man of God, that doesn't matter at this time. So how we feel, it doesn't matter. He's gone. So guess what we got to do? We got to keep on pushing, right? We got to keep on pushing. He's gone, and we must keep on pushing, right? Here's what the final thing I want to say about that is, we have what I call the premier coach whisperer. Now, I'm not trying to be offensive because, you know, there's the horse whisperer, but he's the coach whisperer. We have none other than Vice President, Director of Athletics, Ashley Robinson, who has a hit, who he's been a hit in hiring coaches wherever he's been, and I trust him. And guess what? He's from Jackson, Mississippi, y'all. He's from Jackson, okay? I trust President Thomas Hudson. Both of them are Jackson natives who were educated in Jackson, Mississippi. Can we not say, hey, we trust those guys and we trust Ashley Robinson to go get who the next coach is going to be, right? I'm believing God. I know I'm going to get some pushback on this. I'm believing God for a Mississippi native. I'm not going to call his name. I texted him about 2 weeks ago when did nobody else know. I say, man, I'm believing God that you next up, right? And I'm going to let it just fall in place. But I sent that to that coach 2 weeks ago. And if it becomes official, then I'm going to put it out. And I'm sure he won't mind. I put it out and show you the date when I sent that text. Jennifer Spain, I see you saying Jerry Rice. I was there when Jerry Rice came to Valley. I watched Jerry Rice's whole career. I've seen him. I've known him. He probably don't remember me now, but he used to. And but the deal is, I don't know whether Jerry wants to be a SWAC coach or a coach at all. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I've been intimately involved in the SWAC since I was 6 years old. I'm 53, and I'm telling you, the SWAC will continue to rise because some of the greatest leaders, some of the greatest people ever, if we could ever value people that come from us, and we could ever value in Jackson those that are born and bred in Jackson, Mississippi, or in Mississippi, if we could ever value them, I'm telling you, ain't no telling what we can do. So guess what? It's all good. We're moving on. We're going forward. And I saw just one thing I got to say. Yeah, Cummings was fired under a different administration. And let me tell you something. We got a different administration. But whatever the case, that doesn't matter. He made a choice to go. And I'm going to get in trouble with this one. Woo, I'm going to get in trouble. I don't believe, man, I hate to say this. I just don't believe he's just chasing money. He got money. He's had money. He's had notoriety. Whatever it is, I just prayed, say, God, release me from any feelings. I'm still a fan, and I want him to go do well. Let's move on, all right? And let me say this one thing. I keep saying I'm going to move on, right, Floyd? Can I say this one thing? Is that I hear people say, well, it's just football. It's just sports. Man, let me tell y'all something. The kingdom is concerned about everything. Everything. Sports is important. Football is important. Cooking is important. Soccer is important because it has to do with the culture, okay? And it's an economic engine, and it's a training engine, and it's a leadership engine. For those of you that think it's not important and why people in their feelings, people deserve to be in their feelings about what they like and how they feel about it. So get off those people and let's keep moving, all right? So we're moving on. Now, I'm not going to say the more important things because I think everything's important, but let's say some things that are at a higher level. I want to talk to you about something real quick. And because I've gotten word about this, I got word about this. Let's listen to this. Is in capital city of Jackson, Mississippi, there are many violent crimes that are being committed. And in that, we're all saddened by that. We're all hurt by that, right? But actually this year, it appears that there will be fewer murders this year than last year. That's still not a good record. It's not a good number. It's still horrible, all right? And I believe that if there were not certain organizations that were working, I believe it would be higher. First of all, I believe because of the work of Operation Good, I believe Operation Good has done great work. I think A Chancellor Choice has done great work. I think Jackson Cares has done great work. I think the Poor People's Campaign has done great work. I think the Rapid Response Coalition has done great work, okay? I believe that. I believe that. And I believe if it had not been for their work, there would be more murders that would have taken place. But I want you to understand that many of the murders that have taken place are domestic, not an excuse for high murder. And guess what? Contrary to some people believe, I believe churches. There are many churches that fly under the radar that are doing work. But all of us can't do the same work, right? So that is serious. And let me tell you something. Victims deserve to be heard. Victims deserve to be heard. And I want every person that has lost someone to a violent crime to know that you are not alone in this city. And you are not the only one in this city. You are not by yourself in this city. Okay? For many years, even in my own family, we have experienced violent crimes, okay, before people even talking about it. And we got to deal with that. But what I don't want you to do is to be tricked by the Attorney General's office and many others who do not really and have not shown by action or demonstration that they care about all violent crimes. They do not care about all violent crimes because they oversee and can do something about the violent crimes. Listen, the violent crimes that are being committed, not just black on black crime, but also the violent crimes that are being committed against, listen to me, from the hands of the police. They continue to check off and allow police officers, because of qualified immunity, to get away with violent crimes in the state of Mississippi with no accountability. And police officers have shot and killed people in the state of Mississippi who were not armed and who did not have a gun pointed at them. And just because a person has a gun, it's legal to own a gun in the state of Mississippi. So do not be fooled by the antics of the Attorney General's office in the state of Mississippi as if they care. Because what happens is it creates in you a feeling that people right around you don't care. And we crying about this every day. We experiencing this trauma every day. All right? Let me tell y'all somebody who cares. You don't have to like them. But I'm telling you, the administration in this city cares. But not just about some crime, all crimes. And I'm telling you, victims of all crimes, whether committed by the police, whether committed by individuals, deserve investigations and answers, and it needs to be energized. Energized answers. In other words, energized answers. Okay? So, let me share this with you. It has now been 70 days since Jalen Lewis was killed by the Capitol Police Department's Flex Unit. It has been 70 days, and they have not contacted the mother who raised him, the father, anybody. They have not contacted, they have not done anything, and that mother, all they were asking for in the beginning were answers. Give us the answer of why. Show us the body cam footage. Show us the dashboard footage. They have not done that. But not only has it been 70 days since that happened to Jalen Lewis, we have now uncovered that there are acts of violence committed by this same unit against others even before that. Some that resulted in death with no answers and no accountability, and others that have resulted in serious injury. And then others, now we're finding out, not do they just harass and target, they target anybody they want to, okay? They are absolutely out of control. Please hear me. They deliberately targeted my son. I'm not going to go into that right now, and I got every right to go into it. We are filing charges with the Department of Justice, and they are going to investigate because we can't trust them to investigate. We cannot trust MBI to investigate. We cannot trust the Capitol Police to investigate. And I just need y'all to share this. I'm telling you, I'm not letting it go. I got to keep talking about it, okay? 2,
We got to deal with not only that, but we'll be online today with a pastor. Matter of fact, he was a Caucasian pastor, but he was in the Midtown community, and he was snatched out of his car and thrown on the trunk. Guess by who? One of the same guys that was involved in the killing of Jalen Lewis, as well as one of the shootings that happened in that community the night before he did that to the pastor. This is the third pastor that they are throwing around and treating because they have no accountability. Now, here's a decision that I made. I made a decision that I've got to fight. And we have organized and we're preparing. But I want you to understand something. The reason we're moving carefully and strategically is because I don't want this to be just another time that we get up and make a lot of noise. I don't want this to be just another time that we run up and we talk about all we're going to do and then don't do anything. No, Chris, I refuse to go that route. We're going to be strategic and we're going to do it right. And we are going to protest, but it's going to be strategic and right. And we are bringing together people that understand and see and putting the resources on the table to help make this happen. We got to do it right because we got to end this once and for all, okay? I'm getting flooded with people who are being mistreated. I've got a meeting today with a gentleman who was mistreated by Capitol Police, right? Law-abiding citizen. And they just can't continue to do that. But guess what? We're against any police mistreatment and brutality, whether that's Hines County, Jackson Police Department, Capital City Police, whoever, because here's what I understand. It is not all of the policemen in any department, but there is a rogue group. There is a rogue group of officers, and it helps create the culture. Some of the greatest support that I'm getting is actually from police officers who saying, Pastor Pickett, don't stop, because there's some bad officers out there. So please, I'm begging you to stay tuned, keep sending information wherever you are in the country, right? We must demand justice from law enforcement, and we must demand that the same energy that is used when it's a white person, we need the same energy to be used when it's a black person that is killed or murdered, whether it's by an individual or by a police department, okay? And also a case that has just come to my attention that happened around Laurel, Mississippi, a young man who they found his body, I think, outside of Taylorsville. And here's the deal. The police department hadn't investigated. They're not investigating. The family found and went, they got some footage from where they found his body, but somebody's covering up something. I don't know the whole story, but something going on with that. And we're going to get behind that family. We don't know what he did. I don't know anything, because I want y'all to understand something. Regardless of what a person does, it does not give anybody the right to violate their civil rights, okay? We cannot break the law to enforce the law. And I hope you hear that, okay? Somebody just asked me a question. What is the mayor of Jackson saying? The mayor of Jackson is livid. The mayor of Jackson is all on top of this. The mayor of Jackson, as we speak, is going through the channels, and I don't want to tell you all he's doing. He's signing on board for this systematic mistreatment of the people in this city, whether they're white or black, whether they support him or not. He is against that, and he is following the chain to do it right. I asked him, Mr. Mayor, we don't want you to say anything first. I talked to the DA, sir, I don't want you to say anything first. I think it is incumbent upon those that are being mistreated and those that elected you guys to be willing to come out on the limb. And that's what we're doing. And now we're pushing. The attorney is filing the papers. It's happening. Not just for my son's case. The congressman is livid about what's taking place, right? And he has given proper instructions on what we must do, and then they're able to push it. But here's what we're all disappointed about. Here's what we're disappointed about. Not one of the other elected officials, Marvin, not one of the state legislators that are elected by citizens in Jackson are speaking out. They know what these rogue officers are doing. They were a part of giving and opening up the door for them to come into this city, and they are not saying a word. And something about that is bad. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Congressional Black Caucus elected by the citizens, and they're not saying a word, and there's something wrong with that picture, and I want you to hear me. But not only that, our Jackson City Council, these are the people that you voted into office, and they are by and large quiet. They know what's going on. They know what's happening. Okay? So I'm telling you, we've got to raise up our voices. We got to raise up our voices and be heard. We've got to become publicly outraged at the mistreatment of our people. And here's what's important. We cannot do like we normally do. And after some time goes by, we cool off and we forget about it and we act like nothing has happened until somebody else is killed. That's right. Kenny Stokes ain't saying a word. He met with them. He met with them when Jalen got killed over at a church, and he ain't saying a word. But 2 years ago, he told us to throw rocks at him. I don't know. And I love Kenny Stokes. Matter of fact, I love everybody. It ain't personal. It's something wrong that our city council, and here's what's worse, the local media refuses to cover anything about the Jackson, about the Capitol Police. If Jackson Police Department does something, you can't beat them to the scene. They are covering it, breaking news. This is what happened in Jackson Police, so forth and so on. But Capitol Police, the stories have been pitched and they refuse to cover them. I have called them, but they refuse to cover them. But they cover stories about William Edwards and want to mention my name. I'm amazed at the stuff that Barbie Bassett and what's his name, the other guy they be on together. I'm amazed at the stuff they talk about. They talk about some stuff, but not one of them have mentioned what is happening with the Capitol Police. And come to find out, oh wow, Floyd, that's deep. Come to find out that obviously Wilson and Barbie have some friends over at Capitol Police, and they accuse my son of something that wasn't true. I don't know. Everybody got ears everywhere, right? And so Capitol Police didn't press charges against my son because there wasn't nothing to be pressed. Barbie Bassett, right? I mean, there's something wrong with that. And I normally don't like to call people names, but they talk about everything else, but these news stations will not cover what is taking place. I want y'all to understand how that works. The reporters don't have the option. The reporters can't decide what's going to be covered. It's the station managers and the station owners who make the decisions, right? There's something wrong with this picture. There's something wrong. But I'm not surprised because, Barbie Bassett can make a statement racist statement out of this world and take a week off and apologize, and she right back on the air. But you know what? Because we are people who called by God to forgive. You forgive, and you forgive over and over. I mean, she said, I got it. What she told, said one boy didn't have common sense about a year ago. And I sent them an email saying, y'all need to be careful what you say, right? But they don't care because there's no accountability. Now, let me tell you, the words that I'm saying to you are straight out of my mouth. I don't have nobody pulling no strings. And the only reason I can be bold enough to do so is because I don't owe them nothing. The state, and they have not given me anything, right? And I believe that we have some politicians in our city, in our state, that are being held hostage by the system. I think they're being held hostage. And it's a shame. It's shameful because they have lost any courage to do what's right. But let me tell you something. That's not new. It's not new. Here's what in the book The Radical King is what was said. The spiritual blackout among black leaders resulted in their use and abuse by the white political and economic establishment that constituted a kind of conspiracy against the poor. This spiritual blackout, this lack of integrity and courage, primarily revealed a deep fear, failure of nerve, and spinelessness on behalf of black leadership. They too often were sycophants, cheerleaders, or bootlickers for big-moneyed interests, even as the boots were crushing poor and working people. Dr. King, they called it a spiritual blackout. That's what's happening, guys. Our black leadership is being controlled because they are more interested in having the appearance of power than having real power. And they are making deals. And I want you to hear what I'm saying, Floyd. I'm not saying they're making deals that are illegal. I'm saying they're making deals that are expedient. But we elected them. And now, guess what? The Capitol Police are getting ready to expand into more of Jackson. Here's the deal. They want to take our water. Let me get it in order. They want to take our airport. They want to take our water, right? Matter of fact, and there are no clean hands in this because they allowed another municipality to build a water plant right on top of Jackson's, right? And they want to take our water. They want to take our police department, all right? And they want to take our police department because they want to take the city. And they are fooling us as if they just want to do this and get rid of the violence. When have they cared about our community? The only time they start caring, and I'm not talking about all of them, is when it can benefit them. So, I have talked to several people and no response. Okay. And somebody just told me reach out to David, Mr. Archie. Okay, I'll reach out to Mr. Archie. You know, a lot of those guys don't, and I'm not talking about Mr. Archie, we speak and all that cordial, but they don't want to talk to me. It seems now, when I wasn't saying nothing about nothing, everybody wanted to talk to me. But once I started raising my voice about injustice, there are a lot of people that are pushing back and afraid and all this stuff. I don't know, but I know this. We got a culture of leadership that will not stand on behalf of the people that elected them. I'm not an elected official. You know, they talked about me for going to a meeting that I was invited to, and I thought we was all on the same team. But nobody wants to deal with real stuff. So I put myself and my family on the limb, put everything on the line. And I'm going to tell the truth. And as you have found out, man, when I found out I'm wrong, what you'll find out is that, guess what? I'm going to come back and say I was wrong. Man, I be hating it now. Don't get me wrong. It take a lot for me to do it. But I do it because I think it's the right thing to do. Guys, we cannot stop. We cannot quit. We got to keep going. And I know I've gone on too long, but we're going to be back. We got a couple of posts to make today on site where it took place. All right? Hey, God bless you. God keep you. I'm telling you, hey, make that your jam today. Wake up, everybody. And if you like a little hip-hop, John Legend and the Roots got one featuring Common and Millennium Fiona. They got a little hip-hop to it. That's a remake of the other one, you know. Got to wake up, everybody. Come on, let's get up. Let's get up. Check it out. Check it out. So if you down, hey, the protest is coming. The paperwork is being filed. We're getting ready. So let's go. We're gonna stop this, right? We're gonna stop this. Hey, Geneva Williams. Hey, I understand fearing for yours. I fear for mine. We got to keep on pushing. That's right, Granny Moore. Come on, y'all. We got to wake up. We got to get woke up. We got to wake up. We got to wake up, y'all. Let's go. Can I get some thumbs? Can I get some shares? I need you to share this. We got to keep them informed. We got people now from around the country that want to help. We're going to partner with everybody that want to partner. Matter of fact, we don't have to lead the show, right? Elizabeth, we'll just be in the show, right? So I'm just speaking up because I ain't heard nobody. We got to speak up, right? We got to speak up. We got to say something about what's going on. And it don't matter what anybody think. We got to stand for what's right because it's time that everybody, injustice against one is injustice against all. All right? So let somebody know. Call your local politician. Let them know the people in your community are being mistreated. But guess what? We can win. Travis, I don't believe that. I believe that. I don't believe that we lose because I believe, I know somebody, I believe I got God on my side. I believe that's why they ain't been able to do nothing to me yet, right? Because I got God on my side. And guess what? Anybody that stands for righteousness got God on our side. But not only that, when you stand for the least of these, God say, he covers you. He who lends to the poor, the Bible says, like lending to the Lord. What I'm doing is lending my voice and what little bit of influence I have to those that don't have a voice. And I'm going to be a voice to the voiceless. And most of the time, the only people you get hate from are the people that don't want to say nothing or do nothing. God bless you. God keep you. That's my prayer. I'm out of here. Peace. Please share it. Please share it. We will win.